talk about the real gay couple who is the hottest couple of the year, and that is, of course, Bert and motherfucking Ernie. Bert and Ernie came out and then went back in right away, but I refuse to accept that. A Sesame Street writer, Mark Saltzman, said Bert and Ernie's relationship was modeled after his own gay relationship, which I find very charming. And then Sesame Street was a bitch and said, it's not the case. They're just roommates and friends who've lived together, played with rubber duckies, slept in the same bedroom for years. There's nothing sexual about it. Julie?
Interesting.
What do you have to say to Sesame Street's denying the greatest gay couple ever known?
Was it HBO Sesame Street or PBS Sesame Street? Do you know?
What do you mean?
Sesame Street is on a fucking HBO now. I don't appreciate it.
When the writer originated Bert and Ernie, he modeled it from the beginning, from PBS.
But what I'm saying is who denied it? Because HBO shouldn't be denying that. They're not publicly funded. They need to not be denying.
I think the producers of Sesame Street, which is the Children's Television Workshop, still, they came out and said no.
Because they didn't want to ruin everybody's Bert and Ernie things with thinking about Bert taking Ernie's load or vice versa. But, we know that's happening.
But who's what? Like, who's who in the relationship?
I think we've talked about this on a past episode of Hot Tea, I'm pretty sure, haven't we?
On the podcast.
No, I think we talked about it on the Hot Tea podcast.
Yeah, podcast.
Well, obviously, here's what it was.
Here we go.
Bert and Ernie met when Ernie was a go-go dancer.
He was slimmer then.
Well, he was a young go-go dancer. Bert was kind of an uptight guy who had gone to the club, and he tried to tip Ernie in a weird fashion. Ernie was dealing with substance abuse problem at that time, but he started making out with Bert at the club, and they had a connection. But Bert backed off because he saw Ernie doing coke in the back room. Years later, after going through AA, Bert met Ernie again, and they realized their chemistry was something real. Now, Bert is obviously the bottom because he's very much in control in his real life, but in the bedroom, he likes Ernie to go buck wild on his hole.
I can see why Sesame Street denied.
Yeah, they're like, no, that's not how that happened. If they made a connection, it was a rainbow connection. It had nothing to do with it.
It was a rainbow connection at the Rainbow Gay Bar in Elmira, New York.
Oh, my God.
Well, if they're going to do any, and I can't remember if Sesame Street did anything with, like, boyfriends and girlfriends, and did they ever do that stuff?
I don't think so.
Not boyfriend or girlfriend, just best friend, and then I think that they met in a pet store. Because, Bert has a fetish for pigeons. I mean, he does.
Oh, that's right.
He really
but
does.
just in general, like, does Kermit... Well, no, you know what? No, Kermit and Mr. That's the Muppets.
I want to let you know, hold on, I want to let the world know that Sesame Street is okay with interspecies frog and pig sex.
Right.
But two puppets of the same ilk can't make love.
Right.
Well, they slept in separate beds. So, come on.
So did Lucy and Ricky, and we know what happened.
And they were a gay couple.
But if Sesame Street in any way, with any character through the 40, 50, 60 years, ever mentioned any boyfriend, any girlfriend, any kind of anything that had to do with any of that, then they're hypocrites, and that isn't right, and that isn't fair.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Like, it could still be cute, and it could still be, like, innocent, and we're just, labeling and what they are, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't have to be like, Bert and Ernie, fuck it!
Yeah.
Right, kids? What's F stand for? Fuck it. You know what I mean? But they can.
F is for fucking. S is for substance abuse.
So I don't know.
Should I throw away my whole script that I was just about to send to Sesame Street with that? F, and I was going to say just like you. F is for fucking.
B stands for butthole.
Today's show is brought to you by the letter D.
So I don't know. I would have to. I don't know. But if it's across the board,
they never talk about girlfriend boyfriends.
They never really labeled anybody or anything because some of the some of the Muppets were like blue and they were kind of hanging out with the red ones.
Well, there's a thing that lives in a trash can.
Yeah,
like,
he's a cum-dump bottom, okay? Oscar the Grouch is a cum-dump bottom.
He lives in West Hollywood now, right down at the bottom of my corner. There's an influx.
Oh, my God.
Hot tea, 'cause